Oracle wants to come up. I'm bringing up Oracle. Talk to him for a second.
Her? That's Oracle. It's a him. Yo, buddy. Long time.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What are you guys talking about?
We're talking about how Islam draws all of its knowledge from paganry.
Oh, this thing again. Why don't you refute other religions? Why can't you refute Hinduism? If
Other
you hate
religions are not
paganism,
knocking on our doors trying to blow us up to smithereens.
if you hate paganism so much, shouldn't you start with Hinduism that believes in 666,000 gods?
Oracle, did you
That
break your
means you
phone?
don't hate paganism.
Oracle, did you break your phone?
Sorry?
Did you break your phone?
Well, yeah, I did. My screen is just a bit
Yeah,
cold.
that's why we can't hear you. So if you can get your face closer to your phone, and that'd be helpful.
I'm saying, like, if you hate paganism so much, look at Hinduism. They have 666,000 gods, and you want to come
Yeah, no
to...
problem. No problem. I'll answer that for you. Because I can have a conversation with a Hindu, right? Without it turning violent. You know?
So your issue is just
But
violence.
in Islam, the very existence of a Hindu infuriates you to the point where you want to go unalive them. And you did, to the tune of 450 million Hindus disappeared off the face of the earth almost overnight.
Well, let's just say that in the past has bad things.
Yeah, I know. Not just because of the past, but because the people of the past believed what the Quran told them. You're the one who's trying to tell me that the Quran is not saying what it's saying. But the Quran is saying what it's saying. The Quran is saying anyone who doesn't call themselves a follower of Muhammad and Allah and a worshipper of Allah, then unalive them. So they went on a murderous blood spree, right? A murderous spree of unaliving innocent people left, right, and center. So you then come to me and then say, oh, but, I worship one God. You then come to me and then you say, thank you.
So then how did the other religions...
Yeah, no, hold on. You then come to me and then you say that you worship one God, as opposed to the Hindus, to justify your murder of the Hindus.
No, I didn't say that. I just said if you had a problem
But
with
that's what
paganism...
Islam is. Why? What do you mean?
No, but I'm saying if you had a problem with it, I'm not talking about me. If you had a problem with it, shouldn't you be refuting other religions? I mean, other Christians do that. Other Christians...
Okay, I'm telling you, other religions are not trying to break down my door, are not threatening to take over my family,
Then why
are
do
not
other
threatening to
Christians...
enslave me. They're not threatening to unalive me and my household.
I hear that. You say
But
that a lot.
Islam does.
Yeah, I hear that. But then why do other Christians refute other religions? There's Christians that refute Buddhism and things like that.
Can you speak up, Oracle?
Yeah, but I'm saying I understand that, but then there's other Christians that refute Buddhism, that refute other religions.
Yeah, I'm going to explain what the difference between Buddhism and Islam is to us, okay? Buddhism is not saying worship God. It's saying have better morals. So where I can in fact refute Buddhism, right? Because of a lack of God, because Buddha was actually an atheist, right? Who doesn't talk about God at all. Your sole belief in your singular God, right? That one entity who tells you to unalive the Buddhist as well as the Christian and the Jew and the Gnostic, the agnostic, the Zoroastrian, and every single other religion in the world, that makes your cult different.
Yeah, so you're worried, basically.
Worried about what?
So the only reason why you go after Islam is because you're worried about the religion Like what is like threatened?
The only reason I left Islam.
No, I'm not saying leaving, but I'm saying your only problem with
No, it's not my only problem. There's so many things. I mean, you guys commune with the devils, and then you want to tell us that you live a holy life. You really don't. You do exactly as the Midianites did. You do exactly as the Amalekites did. You do exactly as the Bani Quraysh did. You do exactly. Yes, you do. You do exactly as the atheists who are evil do, and then you come and then you say, "Oh no, but we're not like that." But you are. You just don't know it.
Yeah, but if you look, the problem of Islam is not solved by. I removed my headset. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Oracle. Yeah, what are you saying?
Yeah, if you have a real problem, like, look, if you have a problem with Islam because of the violence aspect, you don't solve that with religion, you solve that with foreign policy, war, these things. You understand me?
Yeah, but Islam does not negotiate. Islam is about invasion and taking over by force, so it doesn't negotiate. You're not
I'm not talking about negotiation.
You
I'm
don't
saying
want.
you fight it.
No. Stop. I don't care about foreign policy. Okay, I don't have to worry about foreign policy when it comes to a Hindu. Why should I have to worry about foreign policy when it comes to a follower of Muhammad? Why?
Wait, say again. What was that last part?
I should not care about foreign policy. Okay.
RITA,
When it comes to a Hindu, yes, Mushroom.
can you see the camera? Can you see the prompt or no?
No, I cannot.
How do I undo it?
Go back and try to reinstall it.
By the way, there's also similarities between Hinduism and Christianity.
Absolutely not. This is why you're a liar. But there's every form of similarity.
Because they have Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma.
Yeah,
they have a trinity.
Brahma is their
how
god.
to do it, man.
That's their one god. So Shiva is yeah, you got it back, Mushroom. You got it back.
Okay, do you see the effect? Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because it was giving me warnings and whatnot.
Yeah, you got it back.
Okay, fair enough.
Oracle, you can't tell me, right, that Christianity and Hinduism are the same, because the Hindus and Christians know exactly what the differences are. There are no similarities at all. Not in the moral code of Hinduism, not in... I mean, I speak to a lot of Hindus all the time, and we have friendly conversations, and they don't end in us bashing each other. But a follower of Muhammad will not respect the Hindu for being a Hindu, will not respect the Christian for being a Christian.
Why should they?
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, you don't deserve our respect.
No, but like,
we don't respect. No, hold on.
Since
this is just what I'm telling you.
Would you respect a Satanist?
I would respect their desire to be that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
you can't be that
because
weak.
see, I should respect not the belief in itself. I'm saying that I should respect your freedom to believe whatever it is that you believe.
You can't have a freedom.
Your Islam, excuse me, your Islam, I didn't say I respect Satanism. See, this is why you're a liar.
No, you can't be a Satanist when it comes to this.
Okay, I need you to be quiet. I didn't say I can be a Satanist. I said that the person, whether they want to choose to be an atheist or a Satanist or a follower of Muhammad or a Hindu, a Buddhist, a Gnostic, a Baha'i, a Zoroastrian, a Shintoist, Taoist, doesn't mean anything to me. The fact of the matter remains that I have to respect their humanity, the human image that God bestowed upon them, not their faith, but I have to learn to respect the human value and be able to coexist. I can coexist with a Hindu. But
that a Christian value?
a Hindu and a Christian can never coexist peacefully where followers of Muhammad are concerned. Why? Because followers of Muhammad will always want bloodshed and gore.
Is that a Christian value that you just mentioned? Like
What kind of
respecting,
stupidity this?
like respecting everybody. Is that a Christian value?
I just told you. You're supposed to respect the human value, that human image and that likeness of God in them. You're supposed to respect that. And you have to respect their free will. The same way God respects my free will to allow me to believe whatever I believe. You are not the police of the entire world. You,
Okay, I
the followers
understand
of
this
Muhammad, the followers of Muhammad, seem to think that because your book tells you to go and slaughter people left, right, and
Keep
center.
on doing this. You keep on ranting.
Yes. I can do that because I'm
You're
not
ranting.
finished.
You should let other
I
people
can
speak.
finish what I'm saying, or else I'll give you, the boot, and you can go back to where you came from. So the issue you have is that we don't have in our Bible anything that says go unalive the disbelievers. In your book, you do. You call the Christians and the Jews disbelievers, and then you call the Hindus disbelievers, and you measure the violence you're going to inflict upon them based on that. You won't even leave the Shia alone. So, just get a brain cell. Just one. One will
Okay.
do.
Have you finished?
Go ahead, speak.
See, that's the issue because you didn't let me speak. Now I forgot.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Not my fault. You can't think properly. See, I'm a
By the
Christian.
way,
I keep my thoughts intact.
By the way, that's my friend. I invited. Anyways. Shit, man.
By the way, that's your friend. Who cares?
Damn, you made me forget.
I don't really even know.
What were we talking about?
Don't associate me.
Oh my God, Oracle! You don't know what we were talking about? Let me help you. I'll help you. Okay. ذاك الخرا. Yes, Nima. Hello.
What's the argument?
Can you please introduce yourself because you've got an
What would you
image
like?
there. We can't make sense of who you are, so you have to let us know what you believe, who you are, and what you
I'm
understood.
atheist. I'm 25 years old.
You're atheist. Okay. All right. And what's your take on Islam?
Oh, I dislike Islam very heavily. You could say I'm a bit like a hater, big time.
Okay. And what else? I mean, you're an atheist. Tell us about that.
Well, I used to be Shia when I was young, and then I realized it's just all lies.
Wait.
Ran away.
Just wait. Nima, you were a Shi'i and then you decided to become an atheist?
Yeah, no, I was Shia by when I was born in a Shia country, so I had to be.
Okay. So what made you an atheist?
Well, it's all lies. Then I realized it's just the religion is all fake.
Oh, all
Because you see how
religion
they
is
act,
fake.
right?
All religion is fake.
Shia and Islam, totally. I mean, Christianity could be
I'm
real.
saying-
I don't know, but
I'm saying-
I'm sure Islam is fake.
Well, see, Islam is fake insofar as who sent it, right? And so,
No, I think Muhammad is lying. That's what I think.
yes, I agree. Okay.
No doubt. It was a liar.
Yeah. But I think he's also a pagan reformer. So what he did was he took all the beliefs of the pagans and then he repackaged it and sold it as Islam. What do you think?
I think so, yeah. And I think Islam is more about suppress of the woman rather than just thinking about God and all that. Just a very male-centered religion.
Well, God bless you for that. So you now believe there's no God.
I don't know. There could be, but I'm not. Like, I haven't.
So
Like, I
now-
think religion is more about belief rather than just
Beautiful,
like.
beautiful. So you're an atheist, and you just don't know that God exists. So you're an agnostic.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's much more likely than you being an atheist. You don't strike me as so far anyway, you don't strike me as stupid. Because, you know, atheism, as we all know, is based on believing that everything came from nothing. And that perfect order came from, you know, coincidence, rather than, you know, thought process, an intelligent one that organizes and plans and executes.
Well, but I mean, like, both of them could be right. That's what I'm saying. Maybe there's a God, maybe there's not.
Yeah, that's why you're an agnostic, and that's fine. But let me ask you something. Does this universe have a beginning to it?
No, I don't think so.
So scientists are lying, even the atheist ones?
I read some of Albert Einstein's theories. He believed in time relatively more than the creation of the
but
universe.
time means that time has a start, right?
Well, that was like a little bit of his argument. Maybe time doesn't have a start. Maybe it's just a loop. That's why
see.
I'm not sure. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's not.
The loop based on what? Different dimensions?
Maybe he doesn't know. He didn't go much into it, but he.
Yeah, but it was
he had
just a
theories
theory,
about time.
right?
Huh?
It's just a theory. Did he find something out?
Not much. I don't think.
Exactly. So,
I mean, we don't.
what about
know,
your
like,
what
you
about
also
your
don't.
existence?
Huh?
What about your existence?
Okay. What about
I mean, is there purpose to it, or were you an accident? What are you?
I think more accident, yeah.
You're an
Rather than
accident.
just like planned out. I don't think my existence was planned out.
And why? Why do you believe that?
Because I think it's more because of the evolution than it is because of a creator. and all that.
What's the proof for evolution?
Well, we can see even if you have like, have you seen like dog breeders? Like through time, you can change a lot, and I think maybe humans.
Yeah,
could
but dog
possibly
breeding is intentional.
No,
I've
but
read
there
lots
is also
of dogs in my
unintentional-
lifetime.
Unintentional is the evolution part, right? Through time.
No, so it's not considered evolution if it's an intentional act to bring two different breeds together and then bring something out of that didn't exist.
But maybe
So
our
even then,
existence
the two creatures that you're bringing together, right, have to exist separately, and in their separate state, they're also unique. Then something out of those two comes out, and that's just as unique as the first two. There's planning to it, a perfect execution, if you will.
Yeah, but even in nature, we have tigers, and in some cases, tigers and lions even mating.
No, that's actually not true. Because tigers and lions never coexisted together. That was as a result of us, inbreeding them, and they're called ligers. Unfortunately, there are troubles to this because the ligers, they have genetic deformities that cause them to be weaker than the original.
Right, but that doesn't
not a
disapprove
natural
that they
happening.
can do it on themselves as well.
No,
right?
they cannot. No.
And like, I think maybe, what is your arguments against evolution?
There's no proof for it.
But what if you believe?
It's a
I don't
theory.
believe in nonsense. It's a theory that
Like
literally
religion too,
somebody
right?
came up with not too long ago, and then they shoved it down our throats in school. And when you ask where the evidence, they can't show it to you. There's no evidence for evolution. It's just somebody saying it. But you, because you're intelligent, right, Nima? You said that you don't believe in Islam because there's no evidence for it, and most likely somebody came up with it, right?
Yes.
Great, beautiful. The same thing about evolution applies. So,
Yeah, I'm saying it's all possibilities.
Okay, no, but it's not just possibility, it's a fact. It's a fact that somebody came up with evolution and the theory of evolution, to be specific. And it's a fact that somebody came up with Islam, the concoction of Islam, right? And we know because we follow the historic breadcrumbs, right? So we look at the evidence and then we can make rational conclusions as to why certain things came into being. But we don't say something came from nothing. That's why we need evidence. And so you can't tell me that you believe in evolution because it still remains a theory. It's not evidence-based.
We could say the same thing about Christianity, can't we?
No, we cannot.
Wait, what are you? Are you a Muslim, Zachary?
Yeah.
You're a Muslim? You want to say the same thing about Christianity?
Well, Professor Bar Ehrman says the New Testament.
I don't care about Bart Ehrman. What does your Allah say about Christianity?
It's a false religion, obviously.
No, he
Allah
doesn't
says
believe.
it's a false
Mushroom,
religion?
he's a...
Are you a kafir? What's the matter with you?
Christianity is a false religion, though. It is.
But how? When Allah
Actually,
said
Bart
that
Ehrman...
the-
Wait. Mushroom. Let's stop with Bart Ehrman just for 5 seconds, yeah? Zachary, Bart Ehrman, what does he say about Islam? Zachary? Can you unmute, please? I'm gonna send him. Can you please tell me what Bart Ehrman said about Islam?
He said our scriptures have been preserved, unlike Christianity.
I'm gonna play you something. Just stay there, okay? This is Bart Ehrman, okay? And it will give me great pleasure and joy to introduce you to our friend Bart Ehrman, okay? Who actually believes Jesus Christ was in fact crucified. Just does not believe in it as a belief.
He doesn't believe in the resurrection, though.
I need you to be quiet. I didn't ask you if he believes in the resurrection. Yeah, but that means that Christianity is a result of some truth, as opposed to Islam, which is the result of Muhammad's poop on 3 stones. So let me show you. Bart Ehrman. Bart Ehrman. I'm going to put him right here for you. Okay?
Bar Ehrman doesn't
Let's hear
I need you. Zachary. You can take your garbage religion and shove it down the nearest sewer. I want you to watch what Bart Ehrman says. Stop talking over me.
Pagans.
Okay?
The one who has to direct his prayer mat
You guys are mushriks.
to face a stone in Mecca. Otherwise, his prayers are not
Even the
accepted.
Jews say you guys are.
Shut your mouth, pagan. Shut your mouth. You want to hear
Okay,
what
here,
Bart
here,
Ehrman
here.
says?
Here.
Okay. Okay,
Jews
Habibi.
say you guys are.
Here.
Tell me in the chat.
Here.
Show us the picture.
No.
Lama, he's gonna keep talking while you're showing the thing.
It's
He's
fine.
gonna go.
You could. It's fine.
That's fine.
Let's just watch.
That's fine.
Let's just watch. Okay.
He's useless anyway.
Let's just watch.
It's not like he can have a
Let's
discussion.
just watch.
Go ahead.
Let's just watch. Give me big screen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Muslims believe in Jesus Christ. There's a lot of interest, I think, from the Muslim community, and many Muslims feel that your conclusions, your historical conclusions of who Jesus Christ is more commensurate with the Muslim idea than it is with the Christian one.
I really do think Jesus was crucified, and that he really was dead and buried. He thought that he was a son of God. That is, after all, why they crucified him.
In the Quran, it's mentioned if this book was from other than God, they would have found in it many contradictions.
I've had phone books that are inerrant.
Condition for a book from God not to have contradictions.
That's an assumption about what kind of book God could write. It doesn't make sense to me for humans to say what God has to do.
There has to be something within Revelation which distinguishes it from human speech, so as to act as an evidence.
Yes, I know that's your argument. I'm saying, who says it has to be? You are.
I love him.
Then anyone can claim prophecy or prophethood.
The Christians say that's what the Muslims are doing. They're just claiming things for themselves. What does it mean to be unreliable?
Yeah, Bart Ehrman, good one.
Oh my good
All
Lord.
right, don't joke,
I
Rita.
nearly died every single time. So let me see. The followers of Muhammad, I cannot stand their names anymore. The followers of Muhammad have decided to quote Bart Ehrman falsely. And they've decided to say that Bart Ehrman doesn't believe in the resurrection. He is an atheist. Because he's an atheist, I don't care what he says, but even he cannot go against the historic historic evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person who was known to his followers and who witnessed him firsthand getting crucified and unalived and buried. So, for the love of all things, your brain, please, for the love of the brain that God Almighty has blessed you, I beg you, Zachary, okay, stop wiping your ass with 3 stones, okay, and then eating those stones. I'm begging you, okay. There's no nutritional value to this, Zachary. Naughty, very naughty. Okay.
Zachary is gone because he didn't get his way, so he had to leave.
Yes, Bart Ehrman. Bart Ehrman is so
Bart
funny.
Ehrman, have you heard what Bart Ehrman says about Jesus, about the Bible?
Anyway,
You
we go
hear?
back to Nima. Nima, who is an agnostic. He's not ruling out completely that God exists. He's saying, I don't know. Right, Nima?
Yeah, I think it's a bit, maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
But I would
good,
say
good.
I'm like 70-30, 70% no God, 30% maybe God, yeah.
No, that's fine. That's fine. See, I only need the 30%. See, you have to make sense of a few things for us, right? We need to know, like, whether you, like, by the way, how old are you?
25.
25. Have you gone to uni yet?
To what?
University.
University, yes.
What did you study?
Criminology.
Criminology,
studying.
nice. We're very proud of you. You want to have some law and order in this world, right?
There you go.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So, what determines what's good versus what's evil?
Society?
No. Society can think whatever they want. They're members of society, a very large number, I would say, who believe that committing evil is the way to go. That, in fact, they don't need you, the criminologist, right, to determine what their next move is going to be. They can unalive each other, being neighbors who grew up together. They can steal from each other. They can justify it by many, many ways, right?
Yeah.
So if they can justify their criminal spree, okay, and they can get away with it too, because, by the way, you're not their police as far as they're concerned.
Okay.
These criminals, these criminal factions, these the crime society, right? They don't see things your way. So who can tell whether you're right or they're right? How do we figure that out?
Yeah, but like if you look at how humans seen like good acts versus bad acts,
Yeah, but
you
who
can see it
determines that?
changed over time, right?
No, Nima, you're not answering my question. Who determines what's good versus what's evil? If the evil,
majority.
if the majority, okay, then the majority in Schmittler's time believed that Schmittler was right, and they unalived countless Jews, countless Christians, simply for being Christians and Jews.
Okay, but we look more like since World War II and those times.
No.
actually,
We can do the same
what
thing.
the world view, no?
Okay, but we can do the same thing in Africa. In Africa, the majority thought it was okay to enslave people. In Arabia, the majority thought it was good to enslave people, to unalive people, and to even eat people. In South America, the majority, the Mayans, the Incas, believed in unaliving people while they were still alive, pulling out their heart and squeezing the beats out of it. So if you leave it to humanity at large to decide what is good and evil, okay, they're going to tell you that committing those evils is a good thing. They will say good is evil and evil is good.
Yeah, but that's why in like courts we don't have people, all of them deciding. We also have like judges.
Beautiful, but the judge now can also be evil. Now you're trying to tell me that I should rely on the human being rather than on something more concrete. I need to know. See, because as a Christian and as a Judeo-Christian, right? My God has given me the rights and wrongs, right? He's told me what is right. He's told me what is wrong. He's categorized them as good and evil, right? And that's what every court of law, whether you like it or not, the criminology that you've studied and what you base right and wrong on is based on my Bible, is based on what my Bible says is right and wrong, based on what Jesus Christ taught.
Like homosexuality?
Yes, it does.
What are your views on that?
My views are that because I've got lots of friends who are homosexual, right? I don't hate them. In fact, a lot of them agree that it is not good for mankind to have those types of relationships. It is something that they pursue because they want it. But I've got lots of friends, and nearly all of them agree with me that even though they disagree with my religious views, right? They agree that it is detrimental to mankind.
What does Bible say?
The Bible says it's evil.
Okay. So in this very moment, you rely on your current society views rather than the book.
No, I do not. No, I do not. See, because the current society... Okay, Nima, I'm going to make this simple. Even the society that you live in, okay, would I be correct if I say you live in Europe or America?
North America. I'm in Canada.
North America, okay. The North American justice system is based on the Bible.
Yeah, but not so much recently.
No. It's based on it completely. Whether or not people follow the Bible religiously... So, Nima, what I'm saying is, regardless of whether or not the people follow the Bible religiously, right? Okay? When it comes to justice, they're always going to need a Judeo-Christian justice system. Why? Because they're going to need human rights. They can't find those human rights outside of the Bible. More specifically, outside of Jesus Christ's standards. Okay? So when we need the perfect judgment, we require the Bible. That's why the Bible is there in the court system, and they put their hands on it and they take the oath on it. They don't just bring any book, they bring the Bible. Right?
Sure, but not so much recently again. They don't do that.
Again, they're always going to do it because even...
Not if you're not a Christian, they don't.
Yeah, so when you're not a Christian, they're going to bring you what?
They're not gonna. Maybe they'll bring you the Quran if you're like a devoted
I see.
Muslim.
So then that's only when you're taking oath, right?
Like me.
Okay, no problem. So when you go in there, right, and you say that you're an atheist, how are they going to judge you? Are they going to judge you by do the laws change based on whether you're an atheist or a Muslim?
That doesn't matter. They don't.
No, exactly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the law, according to the Judeo-Christian values, is applicable to all. When you come to Canada, and then you have Judeo-Christian laws that have existed for thousands of years, and these values are seen as the best for society. Why? It protects your value as a human being. It protects the next person equally. So you and I, in front of the law, are seen as equals. Okay?
Yeah, but you can't compare like current Canadian to government to like maybe 500 years ago. Maybe.
No, I'm not comparing government. I'm saying justice.
Yeah, but this, I told you, this form is more about the society than the religion. We have.
Well, I'm telling you right now, society cannot determine. You still haven't shown me how society determines it. We just agreed that different societies view different things as good. Evil can be good in certain societies. Yes. Even today, even yesterday, actually, I was having an argument with a friend of mine where we were talking about a specific issue. Right? Immigration. And I said, not all immigrants are criminals. And then she said, no, all immigrants are criminals. How do you find out who's telling the truth?
You fact check it?
Fact check it how? Fact check it how?
For yourself?
What value?
No, you say that all immigrants are criminals?
Yeah.
I mean, you could look at the numbers, then if you see, if they're all doing it, then all criminals. If they're not all doing it, they're not then.
They're doing what? Based on what?
It depends on what you mean by criminal, like with the
Okay, let me ask you a different question. Is stealing good or bad?
Stealing bad.
By what value?
You take somebody else's property.
So what? You found it, it's yours.
You have gained for yourself.
Finders keepers. Finders keepers.
Are you trying to argue that? Yeah, but we have the same argument. I think we are reaching the same point, though. I'm saying
no, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. So I want to understand. Wait a second, Nima. Are you saying to me, right, that finders keepers is correct?
No, I'm disagreeing with that.
Okay, but that's society. In Canada, finders keepers goes. The society believes in finders keepers.
Religions, this across many religions is like that. So it's yes, society determines this, not the religion. That.
But I'm not saying. Okay, the statement you said was that all religions are false, right?
No, I said
more
Islam
specifically,
is false.
Islam.
Christianity could be right.
Okay, perfect. So then, if it could be right, we're going to have to look at the values of the religion. Is stealing right in Islam or not?
No.
It's not right?
It's not right. I don't think so.
In Islam, it's not right?
Well, they cut the hands of the thieves, don't they?
Yeah, but see, stealing from who though?
From anybody?
No, not from anybody. The Quran says
like within the
in order to
or
steal
outside the religion. That's why I don't like Islam.
I'm saying, is it right or is it wrong? It doesn't matter within or without.
I think in their views, that's how much I know.
So then, this is the problem.
Muslim is bad, but stealing from a non-Muslim is not.
What if I, as a Christian, but this is just what I'm telling you. Now you've got a massive population of followers of Muhammad. Okay. Muslims are at 1.53 billion individuals, okay? And they're growing in number. Now, they're a large society. In their society, the values of right and wrong are different.
Okay.
So, if you understand their values to be evil, what are you justifying it by? How are you judging that Islam is evil and it's a false religion? What are you measuring it against?
I would say that again. I go back to it. The views on the society again. I wouldn't say there is.
You came from that society.
No, but I wouldn't say there is certain thing that has been written down that to be right or wrong. I think all of it just goes back to like how people think and like as like a group. If they
but all of that, Habibi, all of that is subjective. So. Yeah, all of that could change, you know?
Yeah, as it has changed, but I'm saying...
Okay, but there must be a foundation, right?
No, my issue here is that you yourself come from a Muslim background, right, Nima?
Yes.
Okay, so then your entire population was Muslim, correct?
At some point. Not entirely,
No, I'm saying that you come from a Muslim background. Your country was a Shia Muslim country?
Majority, yes.
Which one?
The country?
Yeah.
Shia, yeah.
So, no, but which country is it?
Iran.
So, Iran is majority Muslim?
Yes.
Okay, and it had been majority Muslim up until a certain point. Right now, it's going through a cataclysmic change because people don't believe in the nonsense of Islam anymore.
Correct.
Okay, so... up until a certain point, they believed in the values of Islam. They did not know that Islam was in fact evil, right? Until they saw the results of Islam, correct?
Yes.
Right, okay. What did they measure? What do you and your people measure Islam against to discover that it is in fact evil?
Pre-Islam.
Pre-Islam was Christianity.
Zoroastrian for Iran.
Yeah, Zoroastrian also, but Zoroastrian, there are a lot of things about it, right, that were detrimental to society as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're always going to go back to Christianity?
Iranians?
Yeah, they're going to have to judge against Islam, by judging it against a better value.
I would say historically Zoroastrian, but modern day, I would say more towards the Christian countries. Yes.
Yeah, but that's just what I'm saying. I'm not taking away their Persian culture or their Persian history. I'm saying that even in Zoroastrianism, there are certain things that are Islamic in a sense. For example, they could marry their brother, their sister in Zoroastrianism, right?
No. Zoroastrianism is 3,000, I believe, something years old. It's
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm saying that marrying your brother or your sister was not so frowned upon in Zoroastrianism. Okay?
I don't think it's talked about that much, no.
I know it's not talked about that much, but that's why I'm telling you what the problems are within Zoroastrianism. Do you find marrying your brother and your sister wrong?
Yes.
Okay, then you're measuring that against the book of Leviticus. You're measuring that against, you're measuring that act, right, against the values of the Bible. So the Bible always shows you what's wrong.
I think
within
that's
Zoroastrianism.
Instinct, I don't, like many animals don't even inbreed.
Yeah, that's fine, but that's because God designed them that way. Okay? That's why we have something called scent. A baby, right, for example, a newborn baby, having smelt the smell of its mother, okay, will never be okay with me holding it. It will cry out for its mother. Okay? So,
or it could be the
animals...
instinct, the result of evolutions of...
It's not a result of evolution. You don't have a... No. See, no evolutionist actually says any of this. So you're trying to appeal... to the evolution, even though evolution doesn't have this, this has evidence. So you have to stop doing that. This is something called observational science, okay? And in that observational science, we know that a specific animal will always follow its mother. And the mother will only protect her child. Right?
Yes.
No matter what the animal.
Yes, usually. Yes.
Okay, then there's also herd-like behavior, meaning there's a form of connection within that animal kingdom.
Yes.
Okay, so then this is not part of evolution. You're not appealing to evolution.
Let's simply put like animals without even their mothers in a space where they wouldn't have any relations to like learn upon. I think the results in many cases are the same.
No, learned behavior is one thing, right? And then instinct is another. It's got nothing to do with evolution. A baby elephant who's orphaned can survive, right? Given that it's a little bit older and has stopped suckling on its mother's milk. But it will always be an elephant. It's not suddenly going to start growing wings and behave as though it was a vulture. Okay?
Okay.
So instinct is always going to take over. I'm not talking about that. You're appealing to evolution. I'm talking about right and wrong in a society, in a human society. Okay? Certain aspects of Zoroastrianism were detrimental to people back in those days. I'm not saying Zoroastrianism is the cause of the downfall of Persia. I'm saying Islam is. However, even pre-Christianity, when they were Zoroastrianism didn't teach them that inbreeding would be bad for them.
Inbreeding wasn't that common in Iran in those days.
For God's sake. But it was back in the days. It's part and parcel of the practice of Zoroastrianism. They didn't see anything wrong with it. I'm not saying they were evil because they inbred. I'm saying they didn't know any better. But the Bible tells you what not to do, as opposed to Islam, which tells you can in fact sleep with your mother.
Yeah, Islam has hadiths. These hadiths are half of the religion.
Okay, so then Islam is giving you a standard that is in fact evil, right? But you have to measure it against another, a better value, in order to determine whether it's evil or not, right?
But here's the question, okay? In Zoroastrianism, it says do good, say good, act good, all that, okay?
Yeah, I believe that too.
Would you say Christianity, when saying the rights are wrong, could also like use that as like a base for right or wrong?
Judaism is older than Zoroastrianism. We get Christians get their values from the Old Testament as well as the New Testament.
Okay, but then it could be also Judaism. It doesn't matter. Would you say Christianity also used that other religions for a base of what's good or what's bad?
It's independent of any other religion, independent of Zoroastrianism, independent of anything. Judaism and Christianity go hand in hand because we're talking about the Messiah, who is the moral example for us, the highest moral example we follow, right? But when it comes to Zoroastrian, and I'm not bashing the Zoroastrians, I've got friends who are Zoroastrians. I'm saying that there were practices within Zoroastrianism that in Judaism and Christianity we frown upon, right? Mm-hmm. That we consider evil. Now, the standards are what you have to look at. Zoroastrianism in and of itself was never a religion of violence. Okay?
No.
Yeah. So with that, in that regard, we like Zoroastrianism more than we do Islam. Islam is about bloodshed and gore. I'm saying when you decided to leave Islam and become agnostic, right? How did you know that Islam was evil? Well, that's again, my question to you.
Well, let's say I see the religion's teachings. I go to that. And if
beautiful. So what are you? Okay, you in order to correct a false belief or an evil practice, where do you go?
Okay, do you know what a diya is in Islam? Diya.
A diya is to payment in Islamic.
Yes.
So a payment Islam, for someone who's been unalived.
Yeah. So in Islam, that's different from men and women. I would say that would be enough to say this is a wrong religion because women are significantly less valued than men, and you can even see this in the diya.
Yeah, but again, regardless of payment, right? Are you okay? So
no, I appreciate. Saying, but
I appreciate that you value women. Okay, that's not the issue. Women are valued very highly in Christianity and in Judaism, right? And so my question is, did you leave Islam because you found a better value, or did you just leave Islam because, you know what, I just don't want to be a Muslim anymore?
No, I would say more the values of Islam didn't seem like correct.
They didn't seem correct. So then you're judging them based on something else.
Correct.
Okay, so then that something else has to be Judeo-Christian value. All around the world, wherever you see injustice, it's because that system allows the injustice to happen. Okay? But where Judeo-Christian values are concerned, now you have a system which is equal to everybody. A child has equal value to an adult, right? A woman has equal value to a man. Make sense?
Yeah, and I understand the argument.
So if there's equality only in Judeo-Christianity and you can't find it in any other religion, it's because the standards, the values are better. They're the best there is. You can't have any better. But atheism or Gnosticism or Islam doesn't give you a value. In your agnosticism, you're not going to be able to give me a value for human life. Because unaliving a baby in the womb is okay for an atheist. Unaliving a baby outside the womb, also okay for an atheist. There's no real reason for value to human life in atheism.
That would be correct, yes.
Okay, so then because of that, then we have to go and ask ourselves, why does human value exist? Who put a value to humanity?
In your case, religion?
No, not religion. No. See, I'm not a religious person. I'm what you call a person who has faith in God, okay? And I'm trying to dumb it down for you, right? I have a direct relationship with God who tells me right from wrong. And my God is the one who gives you equal value to me. So he says Nima has equal value. Even if he's an atheist, he has equal value to me, the believer of God. Make sense?
Correct. And these values that you know, are told by you by the religion, right?
Not by the religion, by God himself.
Well, the God
See,
is the head of the religion.
God never, you can go into the Bible, okay? Show me where God says, I'm a Jewish God, I'm a Christian God.
Okay, but you form a religion around the God, right? In acceptance
No,
of a
what
God.
we do as practice is religion, okay? But what we believe is faith. So you're trying to conflate the two. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So you have to understand, the value for humanity comes from God himself, who says that he made us his children by giving us his image. So he gives us value by giving us an image that belongs to him. Therefore, I have to respect the value, the human value of you, who I do not know. Make sense?
Okay, but you're sourcing this from Bible, correct?
Yeah, I'm sourcing this from the Bible, where
Right.
God is speaking and he tells me what he did for you and me.
Yes, but
But
if
I
you
can't-
believe in Bible, technically you're Christian, and if you're Christian,
No,
Christianity
I'm a
then
Christian.
becomes
I'm
a
not saying
religion.
I'm not a Christian. Did I say I'm not a Christian?
There you go. Then now I know you're Christian. I'm saying then.
Okay, I'm a Christian because I follow Christ. And Christ is not someone that anybody can deny. Even the most staunchest atheist is going to have to believe that Jesus Christ existed. Unless they're stupid. Unless they're historically, uneducated. That's the only time
but
they're going to
like
deny him.
the Abrahamic religions, you guys all believe that there is one God. You all have different depictions of what that God is, right? Like you say, the Muslims are wrong. This is the true God, and with the same with the Jewish God.
No. When did Islam become Abrahamic?
Aren't they considered?
No, they say it's Abrahamic. We don't. I'm an ex-Muslim myself.
Right, but I'm considering all of everybody's views rather than
Yeah, but
Christian
everybody's
on them.
views can't be correct if it's not based on
Oh, I know everybody's
truth,
incorrect.
right?
So you can have
So-
incorrect views.
So then I have to maintain some form of logic, right? So just because a Muslim tells me that Islam is Abrahamic, I don't automatically say it's Abrahamic. Just because Islam happens to copy a few aspects of Christianity and Judaism does not mean that I automatically believe it.
Yes, I know Christians don't believe that the Muslims have the same God, and they're like wrong.
No. Nobody believes that they have the same God. Not the Jew, not the Christian.
I'm not saying. I'm saying they believe the God is the same, but I think they think the way that Muhammad and all that went about is all lies and wrong. Correct?
Yeah, that aside, okay, even if Muhammad went about things doing, absolute evil, right? The reason we know he's not from God is because of that evil. Because everything that is considered evil, Muhammad does, right? You found it reprehensible when you found out the truth of Islam. You decided to leave Islam, right?
Yes, and I also think the practices of the Muslims is also key in religion, like every other religion.
But Islamic practice comes from Islam.
Yes,
That's why it's called Sunnah. That's why it's called Sharia.
in my opinion.
Okay, so then the reason you and I would have to judge it is because there's a better value for judgment against Islam.
Yes.
Okay, so now we know that Islam is evil because it teaches the opposite of what is there in the Bible. If I go to the Bible, I'm going to find out that every aspect of Islam is evil.
And many
From the
other
Old Testament and the
religions,
New
I think.
Testament.
Many other religions as well, not just.
Okay, show me another religion.
Just Zoroastrianism. That's what I started with.
Yeah, but
It says you cannot
Zoroastrianism.
Yeah, but it says you cannot like harm somebody, steal that, and all that. That also is like same, like the views, like their views on Islam is the same as the Christians' views on Islam.
Okay.
They're both deemed to be wrong, like from their views.
Okay. So again, Zoroastrianism, okay, has specific ideas within it that are detrimental to humanity. Okay? So if it allows for certain things, then I'm not going to say that it's a perfect way to judge Islam. Make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
But
so then
that
I
would
need
be from your point of view.
No, not just from my point of view. I have to look at the values that are practiced within any religion, right? The commandments within it to determine whether it's good or evil. But I still need a perfect understanding of what good and evil is. Is that existent in Zoroastrianism?
Yeah, they have the Ahriman, I believe. They have the Ahriman, as they consider him to be the evil.
So then, okay, let me ask
It's
you
like
a
a
different
god
question in
kind
that
of thing.
case. Right, okay, I'll give you a different question. Why then not become Zoroastrianism as opposed to an atheist who believes that everything came from nothing?
Because everybody believes that there is always somebody who made them.
Yeah, no, that's a given. I mean, that's always going to be the case because
The big question, right?
Yeah, it is a big question, and it's important to know whether we have a source or not, don't you think?
Yeah, that's what religion is, the answer to that question.
No, religion is just simple practice. It's just rituals. We're saying relationship. You should know where you came from and why you came from that, and what your purpose is.
Okay.
So why not become a Zoroastrian if it's a better way than Islam? Why not become Zoroastrian?
Because I think, like many other religions, it's mostly based on like the values of the people in those times that the religion was made, rather than like having a proof that actually that is true, or telling you something that they couldn't have known without of knowing about God or something.
I do not understand that.
How can I put this? Okay, for example, in certain religions you have like gay marriages. Okay, I'm not trying to like point out Christianity, there's like many, right? But with pass of time it has become accepted, not maybe through the books but through the people who practice them, right? And it seemed to not be a sin these days, correct? So
it seems to be not a sin these days.
The religions are like this, in my opinion.
Wait a second. Are you saying that same-sex relationships are sinful?
No.
Okay. So why does that matter?
Because I think saying they're sinful is like wrong, and it's like wrong teaching.
Why?
Because they if there's like two people attracted to each other, you shouldn't put a religion behind them and say this is wrong.
So then let me explain this to you then. Should people do everything they want to do just because they're attracted to it?
If two parties agree and they're both in the good mental state, of course.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay. Can you find out if a person is mentally stable or not?
You can, I would say maybe if they're adult, then they would be more mentally able than like if they're a child.
I see. Okay. So
I would put the red line
if the adult, because see, this is going to take us down a rabbit hole of, endless evils. So would you agree that child schmex is wrong?
Yes.
Okay. Then if the child has been conditioned by the adult that it's okay.
Like, what do you mean conditioned?
What then? Conditioned by the adult, groomed by the adult.
Oh, no, still not okay.
It's still not okay?
No.
How do you determine that as an atheist?
I determined that, like as I said, the child needs to be of a certain age to first understand it.
Why?
And
Why?
Because it takes time for human brain to grow, to have understanding.
That doesn't matter. They've been doing it for a very long time. Why? Give me a different reason.
Like, what do you mean, why?
I mean, what does their growth have to do with anything?
Because they understand it and then they can consent.
What does consent have to do with anything?
Well, if you don't understand something, you cannot be consenting to it.
Yeah, no, I understand how consent works. I'm saying, who made that the rule?
I would say that is heavily instinct.
No, it's not heavily instinct at all. In fact, the heavy instinct is for the majority of the world to lean towards doing it.
No, but even if you see animal, they protect their kids because the kid. They
I'm
know
not
that the
talking
kid
about
is not
animals.
mentally.
Look, Nima, when you appeal to animals, I'm going to tell you that God Almighty created the animals to know not to do that to their children. And in fact, there's a season for animals to breed. Okay? And while, like for example, I'll give you an elephant. An elephant takes 2 years, right? From the moment it is impregnated to the moment it gives birth to its offspring,
Wow.
it takes 2 years. Okay.
Less than women's
So
pregnancy in Islam. 2 years less.
So 2 years.
Allah.
So 2 years within those 2 years, that animal is, it knows that it's pregnant. It's preparing for birth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as it gives birth, it's nurturing the baby. It's not going and just because there's a season for the mating to happen, it doesn't go and mate again while it's nursing its child. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain instincts that God Almighty has put into these animals. Animals are by far better at protecting their offspring than humankind are. Why? Because animals are hardwired to protect their children. Human beings, on the other hand, okay, they always have to think about things. Some of them abandon their children. Some of them hurt their children. Some of them unalive their children, right?
Correct.
Okay. And so it depends on what they understand as good and evil. They can get away with a lot. If they don't have a value, they can do all these evils and more. And they won't see anything wrong with marrying off their children as little babies.
Well,
so I need to know why you.
Let's say I want to.
But I need to know why you, the atheist. See, I can understand from a Muslim perspective why they do it. Okay, but why do you, the atheist, now say to me, "Oh, the age matters," when a large number of atheists believe that it's okay to unalive a baby?
As abortion, you mean, right?
A 9 month gestational period. They can actually unalive that baby. And they do.
Yes.
Okay. So why is unaliving a baby okay? I mean, and having schmecks with the child is not, according to atheism.
Protect everybody would be a good answer. Trying to protect everybody.
Trying to protect everybody from what?
From somebody taking their rights.
I don't understand you. I just asked you a very specific question. Why is unaliving a baby in the womb okay? Right?
Okay.
Why is unaliving a baby in the womb okay? Right? At any point, from point A to the very, very last day of gestation.
Because
why is unaliving a baby okay? And yet, marrying a child is not, according to you. But the atheists do it anyway.
Okay, I would say, we have a mother here who has a child. If they don't want to, as they have the right to their body, they shouldn't be forced to.
But the baby also has personal autonomy.
Yeah, but the baby is feeding off the mother. If you unalive the mother,
no, just wait a second. The baby is a person.
Not until it's born.
No.
But then why? Wait.
What makes you think that you have the value? Just wait, I'm working with this. Just one second. I wanted him to say this. So you're telling me that you determine whether the baby is a person or not. In the womb, you decide?
The mother, it's not about the baby.
No. You just told me, listen to me, please. Please listen to me, okay? I'm asking you, who determines whether that person is a person or not in the womb? Who determines that?
Nobody determines that.
So you're just randomly unaliving someone just because you, see it as a threat?
No, but it is the right to your own body, no?
No, listen to me. This is a left-wing conversation. So you are a lefty who believes in unaliving children. How are you any different than a PDF file?
Again, you have to consider that the baby is not the only one in the situation. The mother.
My dear man, I don't give a damn about an adult who decided to go and have schmecks and get pregnant. These are all willing participants when they have schmecks. Then they get pregnant. Then they decide that they're going to prioritize themselves and not the baby that they brought into this existence. So for every action, there's a reaction. You can't just come here and tell me that there's no value to the human being in the womb when you personally are responsible for bringing it here.
Let me get your point of view a little better. Would you say a baby should be born regardless of anything and should
Yes,
not be
exactly.
aborted?
I do. Yes.
What about the grave cases?
I don't mind. Even then, it should be born.
So a woman has to go through that?
Yes.
Why?
Because the baby has a value, just like you have value. Do you mind if I unalive you?
No, but let's say if I
No, let's just say Let's just say your father and your mother got together, okay? Your father is older than your mother, and they got pregnant without planning. Should they unalive you now?
No.
Why?
Why not?
Why not? What's the problem?
Because even though they didn't they were like in the act of, but it's not gonna be.
No, it's an
hurtful to
accident.
the
I just
mother.
told you it's an accident. You're an accident. You told me earlier you're an accident. So if you're an accident, why is it so wrong to unalive you? I can unalive you now.
Oh, as in terms of just like aborting the baby because they don't want
No.
it?
I can unalive you for being a grape case. I can unalive you for being an accident. Why can't I unalive you now? As a grown man.
Because I have the rights,
Says who?
says the society. Again.
No, I don't give a damn about society. Society also says that I can unalive you.
Yeah, again, but then we decide what's good or bad, right?
See, this is the problem. You think you decide. You don't. You as an atheist, because I'm going to treat you as an atheist now. You as an atheist don't have a value. As your human value, you're no different to me than a chicken. If you're an atheist, and that's what you believe, that you came from nothing, then you have no intrinsic value to you. I can unalive you for any number of reasons, and I shouldn't be sad about it.
Yes.
If I can unalive a chicken,
Consequences, correct?
No consequence, no nothing. Just because I want to unalive you.
Correct.
So if I want to unalive you right this very second, I can unalive you and walk away. So then a schmurderer is not a schmurderer. An atheist schmurderer doesn't think that he's a schmurderer.
Yeah, but
that's why it's only the atheists who came up with this idea that people should unalive their babies. The atheists were the ones who brought this to the topic, this thing to the table.
Yeah, but you can argue like even unaliving somebody is right or wrong. But at the end of the day, the society decides it and they put consequences on certain actions. So even if you think
I don't care about what society thinks. I want you to understand something. You just told me that a baby can be unalived in the body for any number of reasons, even if it's a grape case. Okay? You agree with unaliving a baby. What makes you think you determine whether that baby is viable or not? What makes you think that it has value or not? What makes you think that you can devalue the baby from the womb?
It's what seems right to me or what seems wrong to me.
Exactly. What seems right to you, and what seems right to you is what's frightening. If what seems right to you that you can go into my womb and unalive my baby, right? Then I have every right to unalive you as a fully grown man. There's no difference. Your value and the value of the baby in my womb is exactly the same. But if you want to unalive a baby in the womb, then you too don't deserve to live.
Yes.
Okay, so then what?
Okay, hear me out.
If your answer is yes,
I'm just simply agreeing that I heard you. Hold on. Let me put it this way, okay?
Yes, it's not an acknowledgement. It's you agreeing, literally.
No, I meant it like acknowledgement. It's cultural thing, this one. Okay. To the baby, right? The whole argument is you're saying every baby matters because every person has the right to live because you cannot just simply unalive them in the womb. My argument is the mother's body is more important than the infant who has not been born.
Nobody says that except for you, the atheist, okay? And you don't have a value for human life. You, the atheists, are the only ones to go reach into somebody's womb and slaughter a baby from within. Whereas an animal is better than an atheist who protects itself during their gestational period at all times of its pregnancy. But you, the atheist, believe it's protection of the mother to unalive a baby. From who? From the baby. The baby is not a parasite. The baby is an actual living human being. The baby has value, equal value to you who is living outside of your mother's womb. The only difference is location. Your location is outside of your mother's womb right this very second, and that baby's location is in its mother's womb. So your geography doesn't matter to me. If you and that baby are of equal value because you yourself used to be a baby, then if you unalive that baby, I should unalive you too. It shouldn't be a crime. The fact that you're studying criminology is funny.
Here's the thing though, imagine a train, okay? And there's two tracks you can hold which side the train goes to, okay? In the one side, you have the baby being born, having every right, okay? And the mother having like in a case of a grape case, okay? The mother having a miserable like period of her life because of that, or maybe until the end of her life, right? And then the other situation is you have abortion, the baby doesn't come out, but the mother will keep the quality of her life as in it's her right, not and shouldn't be forced to.
How long does a baby, how long do you take care of a baby?
Like until they grow up?
Until they grow up. How is your mother taking care of you right now?
No.
When did your mother stop taking care of you? Washing you, feeding you, bathing you, taking you to school
until
and all
I was
that?
able to do myself.
When? Until when? What age?
Well, it depends on what you're asking.
What age?
For washing me?
You know exactly
Maybe.
what I'm talking about. I'm saying
I know.
step by step. When did she stop washing you?
A few years old, I suppose.
A few years old? How old is that? Exactly.
Maybe I would say 3 or 4 when you start to actually go to washroom yourself.
3 or 4, you start bathing yourself?
I don't know. I wasn't. I don't
More
remember
like 6,
those days.
7.
See, this is why you're 25. This is why you're 25 and you can't think straight. So your mother has to bathe you. Okay, I'm gonna educate you. I'm gonna educate you. She has to bathe you until you're 7. Okay? Maximum is 7. Now my question is, at 7, was she burdened by washing you? Was your mother actually coming and saying, "Oh, I'm going to wash you. I'm going to do this for you"?
Like, was she burdened by it?
Yeah, did she have to burden herself with washing you?
I think they may not like they may not dislike it because it's like their baby, but
I'm asking you if she had to continue washing you at 7 years old.
Okay. Would she dislike it afterwards?
Did she have to wash you, bro?
At 7 years old? Until 7 or after 7?
I just said until 6.
Did she have to? No. But she may have to. She may have did
My
it.
God, guys, listen to the question, yeah?
Okay,
Did she have to wash you? Did she have to wash you at 6?
Yes. Technically, yes.
So she bathed you
not
at 6? So then when you became 7 years old, did she continue washing you?
No, I suppose.
Okay, so at 7 she didn't wash you. Is that all her life? Is 7 years of her life all her life?
I think every second is meaningful in life.
I said, is 7 years of her life washing you, is it all her life?
No, it's not.
So then you just lied. Because even if she was a grape victim and you were a result of grape, she only has to take care of you for a brief amount of time.
But there's
Okay?
also emotional.
It's not
factor.
forever. It's not for the rest of your life, as you put it. You just lied.
Emotional though. Emotional.
No, I don't care for the emotional. I don't care. Okay.
But that's a factor.
Because women have been taking care of their babies for ever and ever. If she got pregnant as a prostitute, what then?
Like what's the argument here?
The argument is now she's a willing participant. She's not raped. What then if she got pregnant as a prostitute?
If
What
she
then?
wanted to, then there's no problem with it.
So then she's a willing participant. She got pregnant.
Guys, I've been quiet
and
for
the
like
abort part?
the whole time.
Yani,
I
my
just wanna
question
say
is
something.
pertinent, Mushroom. He said there was a grape victim. Now this woman is a willing participant.
Yeah,
and she's a
okay. I
prostitute.
just want to comment at the grape victim before you move on to something else. Okay. يعني خلي نحكي لنا كلمة احنا همينا مو يعني allow us. Now, if the woman gets raped, obviously rape is wrong, right, Naima?
Yes.
Okay. Why is it wrong exactly? Like, I'm not asking because I'm not bringing up the morality issue. I just want to quickly ask you, like, why is it wrong?
Consent.
Consent, because she's not consenting to the intercourse that is happening, correct?
Correct.
It's being forced upon her.
Correct.
Now, once she goes to evacuate that baby as soon as she gets pregnant, isn't she also doing that without the baby's consent?
Yeah, but if you also keep the baby, wouldn't you do that without the mother's consent?
I'm sorry?
If you also force her into having the baby, wouldn't that be like wrong in the mother's consent?
Not forcing, but it's either way, okay? Either way,
But
if you were
there's two
to
sides to
unalive
it,
the
right?
baby, to abort the baby, you're not taking the baby's consent anyway. So now,
Yeah, but-
one, instead of making a decision to make to turn a bad situation into a positive situation, and not repeating the same mistake, okay, of not taking someone's consent, okay. So she being the victim of rape, okay, and she gets pregnant from that, she'll go and make the baby the victim of her not taking consent to abort him. Do you understand the dilemma here? It's a
Yes.
it's
That's
an
what I'm
issue
saying.
here.
There's
So
both
you
sides
can't,
to
like,
it. Sure.
just as it's not wrong to grape a woman, it's not right to grape a woman. It's also not right to unalive a baby in the womb.
Correct.
So, do you agree that abortion is wrong in every case?
Oh, I disagree. Abortion is wrong in some cases, but it shouldn't be in every case. No,
But
in every case.
The question is, why is the baby seen as a parasite?
I just gave you the example.
Why?
I just
I'm
gave
not
you the
saying the baby's
example
parasite, I'm saying the mother has the right to.
Okay, يعني ما حد يسمع يعني. On mute. Yeah, you just agreed though that grape is wrong because consent is not involved, and now in the same case of grape, she gets pregnant and she takes the baby's life without his consent. That's also wrong, right?
But in this case, if you're to get one side's consent, you would lose the other side's consent, correct? Like you would the baby has the right to live, so the baby should have to consent to their abortion. That's what you're saying, because every person. But I'm also saying the mother has the right.
Just as the woman has the right to. Just as the woman has the right to consent, okay, to intercourse, the baby should also have the right to consent to be unalived.
That's what you're saying. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
And I don't think in any situation
you cannot get one without the other. It's not like you can get the baby to be born without the mother consenting.
What he's saying, Mushroom, is this, right? Because just because the mother didn't get consent, right, doesn't mean that because the mother didn't give consent, the baby also doesn't deserve consent. That's what he's saying.
Why? It's not the baby's fault that another man acted animalistically.
But that's what he's saying.
How is it the baby's fault that some man like Muhammad decided to enter on a woman and grape her without her consent? How is that the baby's fault?
You know, I think your argument is more philosophical.
Yeah, but the problem is,
it's not.
Listen,
It's not.
It has some correct stuff.
It's logical. It's logical. If it's not logical, look, it's logical.
Listen, let me
because
finish.
according to you, to your own admission, it's wrong to grape a woman because she didn't give consent. So the act of giving consent is of not giving consent or not having the how do I put it? Like being forced into it without consent is what makes grape. It's the symmetry breaker between grape and, agreed upon intercourse, right?
Okay.
Okay, it's the same thing for a woman aborting her baby, though.
But we disagree.
So Mushroom, listen to this, right? The largest numbers of abortion don't come from rape victims,
I know.
right? A good number of rape victims actually choose to keep their babies because they know that their babies are also victims of circumstance, just like they are. Okay? And not every woman is a rape victim. So, the greatest numbers, the sheer number of babies who are in the billions, billions being slaughtered by their mothers are atheists, who view their babies as parasites. Now, my question is, why shouldn't we see the woman and the man as parasites for unaliving their babies willingly when they didn't have any need to abort them? Why? See, you appeal to grape for the reason for to actually commit this heinous, disgusting act called abortion. Okay, but if we take away the tiny, minuscule, almost non-existent cases of grape, okay, worldwide, we're only left with atheists who willingly slaughter and butcher their babies inside the womb and outside the womb. So your idea of this baby taking over her life and her emotional welfare and whatnot, the reason you don't understand it's hurtful is because when the woman decides, by the way, there are the large number of women who commit S-side are the numbers that have done the abortion.
Yep.
When a woman commits abortion, there's a problem with the nervous system. There's a problem with the mental stability and emotional stability of that person, and they end up unaliving themselves as well. So, Nima, you're not doing it for the welfare of the woman. You're not appealing to the health of a woman or to the emotional welfare of the woman, especially if you don't know why abortion is wrong to begin with. The reason why abortion is wrong is because the very life of that baby and the very life of that woman are intertwined at a very, very, very deep, more profound than you know level.
What's your name? Sorry, I forgot your name. What was your name?
Rita.
Rita, I'm gonna corner you with a question. I want you to
Go ahead.
answer, but this
Try
is
and
not
corner
gonna be
me.
easy.
I like
I'm
being
sure you
cornered.
heard it before. I'm sure everybody else said this to you.
But go ahead.
Let's say if you have a 12-year-old kid who's impregnated by a P3DO,
Yeah.
and has become pregnant.
She would have to give birth to it.
You agree with that?
Yeah, she would have to give birth to it, and then I would take care of that baby because she's 12 years old. And this happened to be a crime and an injustice to this baby girl. Okay. But at 12, I would assume that this baby girl can go through it, however difficult it may be. In fact, the youngest who was able to give birth was 9. Does it mean now that we allow PDF files who are in fact atheists, the majority of who commit these crimes, right? Does it mean
Muslims.
that... No. I'm talking about atheists. I'm talking about atheists. I'm pointing my fingers to atheists, okay, who do this saying that they don't have a value. A Muslim has a value. Their value is to do it with a child. But not all Muslims believe this to be the case, because a lot of the Muslims that I know, I grew up in Saudi Arabia because I'm Saudi Arabian, I know that my people dislike greatly the idea that Islam is linked to pedophilia, okay?
But isn't
and guess
that
what?
cruelty to a kid in my question?
Well, it can be cruelty, right? To grape the child, but if the child is pregnant, it's already done. I cannot
And you deem
slaughter.
cruelty
I
to be
cannot
wrong,
slaughter.
correct?
I just gave you my answer. I'm not being cornered by you. So
But
yes, the
cruelty is
12-year-old.
wrong.
Yes,
It's
the
also
12-year-old. Yes, the 12-year-old would have to give birth to it, because it's happened worldwide, where Muslims actually got married to a child and she had to give birth. It's not the first and it won't be the last. I certainly will not unalive a baby just because, of the age of a child. Do you understand?
How would you think a 12-year-old is suitable to be pregnant?
Did I say that she is? Did
No,
you
but
not
like,
hear
not-
me, or
not-
are you
not-
deliberately
not-
being obtuse?
In terms of physically, like
I just told you, physically, it should be illegal to do this, but they do it anyway. So if I find a Muslim girl in the Muslim world somewhere, right, who's pregnant and about to give birth, and she's only 11 or 10 years old, should I unalive the baby? Why? She's going to give birth to it anyway. If I wasn't there, she was going to give birth to it. So I'm supposed to help her. Yeah. So logically speaking, I am going to do what is best in what is best for that child, for the 10-year-old child, and for the baby. I would try to protect them after the fact, but I'm not going to unalive a baby because you, the atheist, believe, oh no, but this baby is only 11. The only reason you believe that child marriage is wrong is because of Judeo-Christian laws. Not because you atheists believe that it's wrong. You atheists actually fight for pedophilia. Today, in Canada, in America, you guys are actually siding with the pedophiles, and the LGBTQ are against you. You, the atheists, are supporting pedophilia.
Why do you group me up?
I'm saying because I'm going to treat you as an atheist. I said, because you have no God, now I'm going to treat you as an atheist.
What everybody else says.
Listen to me, Nima, okay? You can't like and dislike your position at the same time. Your position is God doesn't, I don't know if God exists or exists. I don't know. You're agnostic, okay? So I'm treating you as an atheist because that's what you are closest to, not because I believe you're a pedophile. God bless you. You actually believe that pedophilia is wrong. But at the same time, you also believe that abortion is right. So I'm showing you categorically that it is not a fight that you're going to win by unaliving one. Okay? You cannot commit two evils for the price of one and think that you've done right. So when you find Muslim girls in the Muslim world pregnant at 10, you're not going to reach into their insides and unalive their babies. They will find great joy in playing with their children as they grow up and treat them as their brothers and sisters.
Why would you put somebody through that?
No problem. They go through it anyway.
Continue on with their life.
They go through it anyway. They didn't just start today. They started 1400 years ago. So if they go through it anyway, my job is to make their lives easier, not harder. My job is to fight against child marriage. It's not to slaughter babies left, right, and center, which is evil. Okay? You look at a baby and you only see a parasite. I see a baby and I see a blessing. You, the atheists, are the ones who say that babies are a danger to the woman. They're not a danger to the woman.
I think human well-being comes before religion.
Look, how many women, I'm not talking about religion again. You're conflating the two. How many women who
God is the reason you're against abortion.
Yeah, my God who tells me that he creates every human being. I'm telling you, if I can unalive a baby, I can unalive you. What's the problem with unaliving you? You still haven't answered my question.
I'm not saying anything wrong with it. I'm just saying you will pay the consequences
so there is,
for it.
So just wait a second. There is nothing wrong with unaliving you personally?
No.
Thank you. This is why I choose to believe in my God. Yeah, you're no better.
No better than a Muslim. They believe that he should unalive you because his Allah told him so. What's the difference?
But in the philosophy of it doesn't matter. You can do anything.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
The consequences will hit you.
No, philosophically speaking, preservation of life is what matters most. Philosophically speaking, which philosophers have you read that told you that life has no value? Because 99% of Greek philosophers, they all believe in this noble ideology of preservation of life and self-sacrifice. So you're supposed to sacrifice yourself for your kids. Where are you getting this
Actually,
idea
Mushroom,
that life doesn't have any value in it?
Mushroom, if you had a baby, would you be sacrificing yourself for it or not?
Absolutely.
And if I had a baby, I would sacrifice myself for that baby. Because willing participant or not, you always have a sacrifice that you pay. So the idea that somehow your mother, because she willingly willingly consented to marrying your father, that somehow the dangers of childbirth don't apply to her is false. Even a grown woman may die at childbirth.
Yep.
Okay? And a child may also die through childbirth. That's not taking away the actual dangers. But when you consider the sacrifices being paid there, the exact same amount. The rape victim is no different than the one who's consenting to sexual activity is no different than a prostitute who gives birth, is no different than a rape victim, is no different than a woman who was handed over into marriage willingly. So your argument really doesn't make any sense. If I can unalive you and you're okay with me unaliving you because I want to.
I'm not okay with it, but I'm saying the
No, I don't care if you just said
You're
just said
saying
it's okay
that
to unalive
philosophically
you.
speaking, there's nothing wrong with it, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Did I give you your life?
Did you give me my life?
Yeah. Did I put
Yeah.
breath inside of your lungs? Like, let me
No.
just. Okay, then how is it okay for me to unalive you if I didn't give you your life? That doesn't make any sense. It's like philosophically
I said
speaking,
you can
it doesn't.
unalive me. Okay.
Yeah, but
and
why?
I said being the right or wrong is also determined by society. There was
No,
times
it's-
where we would unalive each other.
Society doesn't determine
just because
anything.
of our differences.
You
Nowadays,
failed to
we
show
don't.
that they do.
Like I would say, maybe go 1,000 years back. Look how Muslims and Christians treated each other. But even though,
Yeah,
like,
you just lied again. The doctrine is the one that told Muslims that they could in fact attack Christians, but Christians were defending themselves. So it's not you telling us that Christians and Muslims were mistreating each other is a lie. Christians were minding their business, Jews were minding their business, and Muslims came to their lands and they unalived them. So you have to tell the truth. If you're really into criminology, you have to learn to tell the truth.
no, but the treatment of, like, let's say if like a Muslim guy goes to a Christian country like 1,000 years ago, those days you would not see like a favorable to actually live in those.
Why are you
countries. But
lying?
nowadays,
Why are you lying? Muslims traveled the entire world. Okay. In fact, the first international traveler was a Somali man, right? And he traveled to Christian nations where he was treated very, very well.
Yeah, but one
Documenting
person traveling
his
is different
travels.
from a certain amount of people living in another
listen
country.
to me. It's a lie. If you're going to base your contention using lies, is not going to work out. Christians very rarely attack people based on their religion. In fact, Christians in India, okay,
Reconquista.
lived. Yeah, you're talking about the Crusades.
No, Reconquista is Spain.
Spain, yeah. So in Spain, they were actually defending themselves. What did they do?
They invaded South.
Oh, the Christians invaded their own country?
These Christians didn't exist when the Islamic took there.
Why are you lying? Spain was
pagan.
Christian.
Christians didn't what?
Spain was Christian.
Spain was pagan. Spain was pagan.
Spain
for
was
Islam.
Christian.
It was a
Christianity came
Christian
after Islam.
land, bro. The
What
whole
a
all of
lie.
Spain was
Do you see?
Christians. What are you
Look
You
talking
can never
about?
take out Islam. You can never
What
take
the
out
hell,
Islam
man?
from a Muslim.
I'm not a Muslim.
Even after they become atheists, this is what happens. They lie. So I'm going to show you the lie that you
What?
just told right now. Okay.
No, look,
I'm going to
look,
put it
look,
on front.
it's
No,
easy.
stop.
We've
Stop.
looked,
Stop.
we've looked,
Stop.
bro, we've
The conquistadors were all Christians. Okay?
Yes, they were, but I'm saying
okay. So
before
then
Islamic
you just
people lived-
lied. You just lied. Okay, and I'm going to show you that before them were the Christians. Before
show me
them were Christians. So I'm going to show you that. Okay.
I want
Hold
you to
your
show
horses.
me that Spain.
I need you.
don't-
I need you
don't show
to
me
stop.
some
I need you to
communities.
stop.
Prove to me
I
all
need
of
you to
Spain.
stop. I need you to stop. You just lied. And now
I
you're
don't lie.
justifying. No, the idea that somehow. By the way, you're going to have to show me in the Bible where it says that Christians have to go and attack people.
I didn't say they attacked people. I said the people didn't treat each other.
Yeah, the Christians don't have to bend over backwards and take it up the ass when a Muslim comes.
Yeah, but
So
isn't
if a
that
Muslim
living without
misbehaves,
differences?
if a Muslim misbehaves, okay, and an atheist misbehaves, best believe we're going to put our shoe up your ass.
Wipe the
End
floor
of.
with them, yes.
Yeah.
We're not told to be floor mats. We're supposed to be the salt of this earth that you can put on wounds and let them heal up. What like
Would you
what,
say
in what?
Christians treated the Muslims same, like let's say 1,000 years ago and now? Exactly same?
I'm
What are
sorry?
you talking about?
Would you say Christians treated the Muslim the same as they did 1,000 years ago?
That's how the Muslims came in. They actually took advantage of Christian hospitality.
Yeah, of our goodness. I mean, the
Muslims-
first, according to their own
Muslims
history, the first one to help the Muslims was Al-Habashi, the Habashi king who actually took Muhammad in and fed him and looked up.
Well, it wasn't Muhammad, but his Sahaba.
And Muhammad, after he got
whatnot.
the power, what did he do? As-Sahaba, yeah. And what did Muhammad do in their Sahaba after they got all powerful and they started getting the followers and the pilgrim thieves? They invaded all the Christian land.
So Mushroom,
Well
listen to this,
documented.
right?
Caused genocide to all of the Christians.
Spain.
Yeah.
So Spain and Portugal, okay, it was called the Iberian Peninsula. So Nima, get educated. So Spain and Portugal were called the Iberian Peninsula. Okay, and they were predominantly Christian for centuries before the Islamic conquest of 711 AD. The region was ruled by the Catholic Visigoth kingdom. Okay, Visigothic kingdom, which had established Christianity as their dominant religion following their conversion in 587 AD. So you literally lied and said that Spain was pagan before the Muslims got there.
No, I'm still saying. No, I said that correct. Sorry.
You did say that to me. That's why I'm correcting you.
Spain was not predominantly Christian before Islam.
My dear man, listen to me. That means the Christians were living peaceably with the pagans, if pagans existed whatsoever.
Yes, but you didn't.
Okay, so then just wait a second. Your yes is enough. If Christians and pagans coexisted together, as they did in Greece, as they did in Rome, as they did in Turkey, as they did all over Africa, okay? That means the problem was the introduction of Islam into the region through conquest.
No. Same thing with Jews, though. They had the same views on the Jews as they did on the Muslims.
Listen to me, sir. What happens between the Jews and the Christians is not as a result of the religious teachings. That's what you're not getting. You're trying to take away the accountability of the Muslims, right? Because their religion tells them to go in conquest. Christians and Jews don't have a law that tells them to go and unalive each other.
Yeah, but we have.
But if one disrespects another, they have the right to kick you out. If you come into my house as an atheist, as a even as a Jew, okay, I'm part Jew. I'm Jewish through my mother, okay. But if my Jewish brothers and sisters came into my house and they started misbehaving, I have the right to kick them out.
Yeah,
I don't have the right to unalive them.
Rita, sorry. All of this is beside the point, though. My point.
Yeah, no. It's beside the point because no. Just wait a second. Stop.
People living.
I need you to stop, Nima. Listen to me. It's not beside the point when you made the issue, the idea that somehow the Christians were mistreating people left, right, and center for no reason whatsoever. Your implication is that the Muslims and the Christians were mistreating each other for no reason whatsoever. Muslims have a doctrine that tells them to go unalive Christians and Jews, and anyone else who's not Muslim.
Christians also said the Muslims are heretics and rated.
They are heretics.
Yeah, but same thing.
So they're heretics. They're heretics because of their behavior. We call pagans pagans. Is that a bad thing? If a pagan is a pagan, is that a bad thing?
No.
Okay, so then Christians call them pagans. A heretic is a pagan. So if I call somebody a heretic, that doesn't mean I have the command to unalive them. All that means is that I do not negotiate
no, but they did,
with them.
though, didn't they?
So when they, yes, because the Muslims attacked first.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God, this guy.
Was around.
Listen to me, sir. Sir, you're a liar. You're such a shameless, brazen liar. At 25, you told me you left Islam, and that you left Islam because of the lies that are taught to you there. But you are no different than the follower of Muhammad themselves, because you're still a liar, a shameless liar at that. See, if we didn't have the historic material before our very eyes, you'd still lie to me. The actual fact is that any crusader who was part of the Crusades was answering towards the invasion of the Muslims into Christian territories, specifically Rome. Why are you lying?
Yeah, but when the Christians entered these these Muslim territories that
they're not Muslim territories, you fool.
No, okay, but disagree. I'm saying when they.
I am not disagreeing with you on something. Shut up, okay? Go read a book. Crack open a book.
Okay, it was
All
their
of them
land.
were
It's
Christian
okay. It was
territories.
the Christian land, no problem.
Shut up. They were Christian territories. They were Christian territories that were invaded by Muslims. Why are you lying?
Okay, let's see if they're even Christian territories. What
What
gives
do you
them the
mean? So
right?
I should allow the Muslim to come and take and kidnap my children?
Why would you, when you would take it, unalive all of them? Why?
Excuse
When
me.
Christians enter Jerusalem, they unalive the Muslims.
See,
Why?
do you see what kind of son of Satan this is? You're a murderer of babies, okay, and a liar to boot, non-historic in every single aspect of everything you just said. I shamed you 500 ways to Sunday. You just lied every single step of the way.
I didn't lie. It's a historical
Yes, you
fact.
did.
You
So
did lie. It's not
listen. Wait a second. ISIS right now, does it exist in Syria and Iraq? You
mute me and then you ask me questions.
Yes, because you keep talking over me. So ISIS, do they exist in Syria and Iraq right now?
I think a little bit.
No, not a little bit, a lot.
Tiny pockets in Syria.
Do they also? No, they're not a tiny pocket. They're slaughtering Christians, Yazidis, Alawitis, and Druze.
They're literally,
They're
the whole
unaliving
government
them.
is
They're
They're
ISIS
slaughtering
in
them.
Syria.
So Jolani is also the president of Syria right now. He's also a Shmerarist. So I'm asking you, do they exist there or not?
Well, he's not ISIS.
Yes, he is.
Oh my God, this guy.
He may be a T, but it's a different group.
Do you see? Do you
Getting
see
your
the
news
shamelessness
from
of it all?
aljazeera.com?
If you're uneducated, that's your fault, not mine. At 25, you're a zit. So here's the problem, okay? He was part of Al-Qaeda. He was part of ISIS, okay? So yes, he is a member of ISIS. Don't lie, okay? And it's
But
not a
why are you
small
changing
faction.
subject?
It's a very, very, very large, because you're a liar, and I don't stand liars. So now, here's the problem. If I
Why
were
you
to
change
meet
subject?
ISIS, I need you to shut up and stop talking over me. If you and I were to meet ISIS, should we hug them and kiss them and bring them into our houses?
Can I talk? Is that my turn?
Yes, I need an answer. Should we bring them into our houses after kissing them and hugging them?
No.
Why?
Why would you kiss ISIS?
I see. Okay, so let me see what's going to happen. By the way, call them ISIS. Be careful. So when they come into your house, are they going to come and knock nicely on your house before they take over, or what are they going to do?
I'm agreeing with you. Why you?
What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
ISIS unalived everybody who didn't believe in their religion.
So then what's the difference? What's the difference between the Muslim invaders during the time of the Crusaders and ISIS? What's the difference?
How hard do you practice
What
that religion?
is the difference between ISIS and the Muslims who invaded the lands of the Crusaders at the time?
Because ISIS was a militia group who all were.
Guys, do you see this? I'm telling you.
So was
Can
the
I
early
answer?
Muslim.
You don't let me finish.
He's such a liar.
Please let me finish. Can I finish?
I want an answer. What is the
I'm
difference
answering you. You don't
between
let me finish.
ISIS
Give me
and
1 minute so I can talk.
What is the difference between ISIS and the Muslims who are unaliving the Crusaders?
Can I talk now?
Yes, I want the answer.
Okay, if I'm gonna give an answer, I'm gonna give a full answer. I'm not just gonna say yes or no or like yes or that. I'm not gonna.
It's
give
not
you
a
one
yes
word.
or no answer.
Okay, but I'm not gonna give you one word. Can I finish? Can I?
What
say it
is the
fully and then-
difference between them?
Okay, the difference is when you talk about ISIS, you talk into a group. When you're talking about the Muslims in those times, you also consider in the civilians.
Guys, he just called them civilians when they're all men. There were no women among them.
No. There was women. There was also children.
So there were women invaded
Okay, just wait a second. Prove it.
during that time?
During that time, because there was generations living in that city. It wasn't a military base. It was a city.
Yeah, the living in that city occurred after invasion. So when the early Muslims invaded Europe, okay, they almost took all of Europe, okay. What happened then? What was the driving factor behind the invasion, my friend? What was the driving factor?
But I'm saying there shouldn't be any justification.
No, I'm just asking you, what was their driving factor? Okay, what was the driving factor? Why did they invade at the time?
Because they consider Jerusalem to be the Christian.
Jerusalem. We're talking about
Christian
Europe. He's
city?
talking about Jerusalem.
Oh, in the Muslims in Europe? Say again. Sorry.
Yeah, when they invaded Europe, why did they? What was the driving factor behind the invasion?
Make all world Muslim.
Right? Why? Why? No, wait.
Religion.
Why?
Religion.
Why? What
Because it
what
tells
about the
them to
religion? What
fight
does
the
it tell them?
kafirs and fight all the non-believers.
Okay, cool. And what is ISIS doing today?
Exactly same thing.
So what's the difference between the early Muslim who invaded Europe and Jerusalem and ISIS today?
So you believe all Muslims are ISIS?
No, that's
You
not
see
what I
how
believe. You're not
how
listening.
stupid?
You're not listening.
It's unbelievable.
I said
No, the Crusaders.
and
No, let me
ISIS.
explain if that's what.
Oh my God, ya Ammi, just
I will
1
answer you. I will answer
second.
your question that you asked.
1 second. You're not gonna answer me. No, 1 second. I haven't
my
asked that. I
God.
just want to understand the difference. Okay, what is the symmetry breaker between ISIS? Okay, and all of the last 30 years we've witnessed one terrorist attack after the other. What's the difference between these people who are committing these things, okay, and the early Muslims who decided, let's go and fight those who disbelieve in Allah and subjugate them into dhimmis, get them to give us extortion money. If they don't, we're going to behead them. What's the difference between ISIS and them early Muslims?
The Muslim warriors and fighters are not different from ISIS.
Okay,
Is
cool.
that a
So now,
respectful
since they're
answer
not
to you?
different, because 2 minutes ago, before we broke it down, apparently they were different.
No.
So
was
I don't
talking about
understand. How do you
civilians.
exactly? I'm sorry.
Civilians. That's my difference.
Civilians.
Guys, let me explain something here, okay? He wanted us to not consider the third crusade, okay, and the second crusade and the first crusade, because they actually happened. We have to work our way backwards, okay, to understand how many crusades took place, okay? The first one with the Fatimid crusade, the army, okay, who were met with the Crusaders, and the reason that happened, okay, was that the Muslims went into Christian territory, slaughtering people left, right, and center, slaughtering them in their beds, not military factions, no, families, and they grabbed the little baby girls, they grabbed the women, turned them naked and made them walk, exactly what Muhammad did in his time. Then you have the Turkish forces, okay? And they, according to the historic material here, it says they use hit and run tactics, okay? In order to harass and invade European territories, which were all Christians. Then you have Salah ad-Din, okay? He went face to face with Christians everywhere, slaughtering them en masse. The same Salah ad-Din that Muslims like to, glorify. This man is telling us, I need you to be quiet, stop talking over me. You're telling us that Christians woke up early in the morning and said, today we're going to go and slaughter the Muslims. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying
that.
That's
exactly
what you say.
That never happened.
You're bending my words. You're bending my words.
I'm not bending anything.
You're
You
exactly
just said
doing
that they mistreated each other. You liar. The Christians and the Muslims never met each other unless it was battle.
No, when they attacked Jerusalem, Christians took it back. They unalived every Muslim of it. When Salah ad-Din
they deserve to be unalived. They deserve to be unalived because they meant to destroy all the Christian churches and temples, and they unalived Christians too. How dare you?
Christians also unalived Muslims.
Yes, they deserve to be unalived. They were in war.
But they also think you deserve to be.
They were in war. They were in war. Like, I can unalive you right now, right? If you came into my house and you're a serial baby killer, I would unalive you too.
But you wouldn't unalive a civilian, correct?
No, I would unalive you if you were unaliving people left, right, and center. No problem. I have no problem unaliving you.
If you're a civilian who hasn't unalived anybody,
I have every right to unalive someone who is an unalive.
What's a civilian? Just 1 second, Rita. What's a civilian doing engaging in war? You keep saying civilians. You hung up on the civilians.
Hold on.
Do civilians go to war? No, 1 second. Do civilians go to the battlefield?
Civilians are unalived during the wars.
How exactly? If the war is on the battlefield, what's the civilians doing on the battlefield?
They're unalived in results of the war in these days. Back in the days, they would slaughter them.
So he's telling us, okay, don't unalive civilians and don't fight back against the ones who are going to unalive all civilians anyway.
No way did I say that. Why
That's exactly what you're saying.
No,
so let's say you come from Iran. Excuse me. Now civilians in Iran are being slaughtered left, right, and center, right?
Yes, that's why I disagree with
Yeah, and so
unaliving civilians.
who's unaliving them? Is it the Christians going in there and unaliving them, or is it the Shia regime that's unaliving them?
Their evil doesn't make you an angel.
I asked you a question. Answer my question, not the
Shia
question you had in your
clerics
head.
headed by Khamenei and IRGC are
So if
unaliving
they
people.
unalive the people, and the people call on the Christians, and they call the Christians and they tell them, you have to come and unalive these bastards because they've been unaliving us for forever and ever. The people are the ones who are crying out. What do we do now? Do we ignore the plight of the Iranians? What do we do? There's always going to be mass casualties in a war. What
Doesn't mean
do we do, you
doesn't
coward?
mean we have to accept that.
Coward, listen to me. Because you have no sense of identity, because you have no religion to begin with, because you have no understanding of what a cohesive culture means, okay? You come here and then you want to dictate to us about what unaliving is when you are a baby unaliver. You're a coward.
The right is clear from wrong.
No, you don't know what right and wrong is. You are a serial unaliver. There's nothing to prevent you from being a serial Killer.
Why is it justified, okay, for you to take a life of a civilian Muslim, and it's not justified for you to abortion a baby?
So I'm Saudi Arabian, ya Ahmad, okay? I come from a Muslim background. My Muslim people live safely and soundly in their country, and they don't mistreat Christians.
There we go.
They live peaceably. Why? Because they don't practice Islam.
Nah.
But if they practiced Islam, I don't give a damn about what you believe, what you agree with and what you don't agree with. You're a liar. A shameless liar at that. You just created. I need you to stop talking over me. I'm giving you a good example. I'm giving you a good example of why you're a liar. In Saudi Arabia, Christians are not being unalived by Muslims. Muslims are not being unalived by Christians. But in Egypt, where Christians lived long before the Muslims came, today, every day, Christians are being unalived by Muslims. Christians who are minding their own business. So if I were to defend myself and unalive a Muslim who comes to unalive my family, then it's wrong?
Okay, Rita, in Saudi Arabia,
are you going to answer my question or not?
In your own country, Rita.
Get the hell out of here. Dirty human being.